guys, welcome back to the Teacher's Trek. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to be talking about 10 tips for new teachers. I was kind of reflecting on my first year of teaching this summer. As soon as the school year ended, just kind of thinking about what kind of things that I've learned on my journey. And I've actually wrote a blog post about this as well, and I'll link that down below for you guys to check that out too. Now, if you haven't yet, go ahead and check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Guys, I literally just got an Instagram account. I don't know where I've been, but Instagram has a lot of amazing teacher YouTubers and teacher bloggers and teachers in general on there that are just so inspiring and helping everyone out. And I just gotten so many amazing, cool ideas from all of you guys. So go ahead and check out my Instagram. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my tips. So again, they are 10 tips for new teachers, student teachers alike. Number one is to find a mentor. So this is my number one because your mentor is going to be your number one person to go to and seek out advice. Mentors seriously are amazing. They have made my life so much easier and less stressful going into the profession as a teacher. And without my mentors, I don't know what my life would be like. I would definitely be way more stressed than I am now. Number two is to organize your materials. All right, organization is key for teachers. There are a lot of different ways to organize your materials. Some people use filing cabinets, some people use binders. Personally, I use the binder system. I do have some files, but I don't really look at those too much. I look more at my binder setup. But I do use the filing system to kind of keep extra copies that I can use later. So this is my binder, guys. It's just a 2.5 inch binder that I have gotten, and inside I have put all of my curriculum pretty much in order of how it will go down as I teach it throughout the year. So yeah, I can just flip through and see exactly where I am, and I can just pull out the copy and make some extra copies for a class set if I need to. So that's just really what works for me. Whatever works for you, just make sure that you are staying organized and have set places for your materials, because you're probably going to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're doing your internship. You're going to just have so much paper, you're not going to know what to do with it. So find out a way to organize your stuff. Number three is don't recreate the wheel. Don't do it. I know it's fun to design your own stuff, but especially in your first year, just don't recreate the wheel. There are so many people in your school that's gonna help you. They're gonna provide resources for you. There's tons of free stuff online. You can recreate some stuff, like if you want to create one lesson that you do yourself per unit, do it. But don't do it for every single day. Number four is connect with parents. So this is something that I learned during my first year. At first, I was not really contacting parents. I didn't really do too much of it either during my internship, to be honest. I suggest that you contact parents right away during that first few weeks of school, just to kind of make that initial contact, so that later on in the year, if you have any troubles with a student or have any concerns, you can contact that parent and you've already built that relationship with them. Number five is to get to know your support staff. This is also a really big key thing. Get to know all the support staff in your school within the first few weeks, preferably in the first week, before school even starts. Now, I'm a floating teacher, and the custodians are a huge help for me, especially when I did not have my keys at the first few weeks. Like, I would go up to my classroom, the door would be locked, and I would have no idea where to get someone to open the door. So I would be walking around, going to the front office, trying to find someone to open my door. But I made friends with the custodian that was on my hallway, and she ended up opening my door for me every morning before I even got there, and it just was so nice of her. That's because I made that contact with her. Number six is pick one area that you want to excel in. So you don't have the time to be perfect at everything, and you're not going to be perfect at all, especially in your first year. There's going to be a lot of stuff thrown at you, and it's just going to be a lot to take in. So what I suggest is to pick one area that you really want to focus on in your classroom, to focus all of your attention, on that one thing during your downtime, and you're gonna see more progress. So if you try and tackle too many things at once, you're not gonna get anything done. If you tackle one thing that you really want to focus on and you spend a lot of time on it, then you're going to see progress and it's gonna make you feel. All right, number 7 is to prepare your lessons before you leave from school and overplan. This is one thing that I learned from my partnership teacher. It's seriously the best tip to help you stay organized and prepared for anything. So every day after classes end, I stay at school until I have everything prepped and ready for my next lesson in the morning. This has helped me so much in just managing my time and just being prepared in general. So I go home knowing that when I get back in the morning, all that stuff is all ready for me and I can get to work and do whatever else I need to do to be prepared for that lesson. All right, and overplan. This is something really important. If you have extra things that you know you can get to that day, do it. Don't let your students overtake the classroom. If there are 10 extra minutes left at the end of class, don't just let them sit there. Have something that you can pull out and that you can have them complete for the last 10 minutes of class. Because once you let that happen, it's just gonna start getting worse and worse and worse from there. They're gonna start packing up early and it's just gonna be hard to reel them back in. Just have something that you can pull out, maybe like an exit ticket, or maybe there's a game that you have ready, something like that. Maybe you just watch a video at the end of class. Have something extra put on your lesson plan that just takes about 10 minutes to complete that you can pull out if you finish a lesson early, because it does happen. Especially if you're not really sure on how to manage time in the classroom, you might find yourself finishing up a lesson that you thought would take 40 minutes, but it only took 30 minutes. And then what will you do? So have that extra activity ready and you'll be prepared. One thing that I did was I used CNN 10, or known as CNN Student News. And this is just a 10-minute video clip that shows the news from that day before. And it's just a good thing to pull up if you have 10 minutes left of class to kill, if you finished early. And the students really love watching it. Number 8 is be consistent with your classroom management. This is also something that I struggled with during my first year. Being consistent, it's really hard to do. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is hard. So make sure that you have your class structured the way that you want it, and make sure that you teach those procedures on the first week of school. Don't teach them just once, teach them throughout the year because they might forget. You never know. Number 9 is to celebrate your achievements and also your students' achievements. So your first year is going to be filled with a lot of ups and downs. You're going to see so many awesome improvements in your students' skills. They're going to have so much fun in your classroom. You're going to have so much fun teaching them and just getting to know the profession. But there are going to be days where you are just feeling like you aren't good enough, that you maybe just shouldn't have been a teacher in the first place. And for those of you who feel that, just know that that's just one day. In any profession that you choose to go into, there's going to be those days where you feel that you're inadequate. It's just human nature. So always look back on your accomplishments that you've made throughout the year. Maybe you just had one goal and you reached that goal. Maybe you took on an extra role. Maybe you aced a really awesome lesson that your students were engaged in and had so much fun with. Anything at all that you felt is an accomplishment, look back on it and just reflect on your first year. Don't always look at the bad things, because I know they do stand out. Also look at the good things that have happened, even if they are very small. And finally, number 10 is self-care. So take care of yourself. You do not want to be burnt out on teaching during your first year. That is way too soon. So I know during the middle part of my first year, around maybe February or March, I did feel a little bit of teacher burnout. I felt kind of lethargic. I felt just like I wasn't doing good enough as a teacher. But I sat myself down and I just told myself that I've accomplished so much this year, and even though I do feel maybe like I'm not a good enough teacher, this is just my first year and I am continuing to grow as a teacher in this profession. In order to combat this feeling, I made sure that I started leaving the school before 4:30. That was my cap. And I would go home, I would put all my stuff away. I wouldn't work on work at home. I would go home, I would make dinner, and I would do something with my husband that we both enjoy doing together. Waking up the next morning after just having that time to relax and take myself away from school, I would be ready to go in the morning, and I would conquer the day, and it just made everything so much easier for me personally, just making sure that I separated work and life. Alright, so those are my 10 tips for you guys who are new teachers. If you're student teaching, I wish you guys good luck this year if you are a new teacher. And I hope these tips are going to be helpful for you because I know that they were helpful for me. And I've learned a lot through my first year. So again, if you have an Instagram account or Twitter account, go ahead and look for my name at Teachers Trek. I would love for you to follow me and just kind of see my journey during my second year. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel down below. So thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you guys are enjoying your last 2 weeks of summer as we start our next school year. So I'll see you guys next time in my next video.